So sorry. Thank you, Speaker, for giving me the chance to ask, and thank you to the CS. I'm happy that you are going to compensate the victims. Matu lost 2 lives. But my question, what about those who lost properties? So can you clarify whether you are going to compensate those who lost properties? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Could the Cabinet Secretary confirm to the House that the compensation mechanism that has been established will also cover police officers who were injured during the demonstrations, but also that the list of the civilians who will be compensated will be prepared largely by non-governmental organizations such as Independent Medical Legal Unit, Voice Africa, Kenya National Human Rights Commission, so that there is no discrimination among those who are to be compensated. Thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Minister.
Mr. Speaker, first let me say, yes, there are people who died in the demonstrations, not as a result of bullets, Mr. Speaker, but different injuries. You remember that, Mr. Speaker, there were all kinds of hooligans who are carrying stones, some machetes, Mr. Speaker, others they had rungus and all kinds of crude weapons. So, Mr. Speaker, that is what makes it very difficult to know whether this very gentleman was injured by a police officer or a civilian. Mr. Speaker, there is no civilian wing of police officers. There is no wing of police officers that are goons that were working with police. I shall be responding to another statement in relation to the same. And, Mr. Speaker, we are making it very clear, Mr. Speaker, that the police officers find themselves sometimes in between 2 warring demonstrating groups, some saying we are for peace, some saying we are protecting our property, and so forth. And so, Mr. Speaker, police officers, only those police officers who are gazetted and are properly appointed to serve as police officers in the Republic of Kenya. Again, I insist that, Mr. Speaker, any life lost is regrettable. None of us is here to celebrate. And, Mr. Speaker, it doesn't matter the circumstances under which life was lost. Assuming even he was a robber and he died, it doesn't make us to celebrate. It's still a loss of life. So, because, Mr. Speaker, if it was possible to arrest that robber, maybe it would change its ways and it would be a different person. So there is no celebration of any loss of life on our part. It's just regrettable whether the person was committing an offense or not committing an offense. And it's therefore important for all of us. And remember that a child may be a robber, but the mother is not, the father is not, or their children are not, or their wife. And they still will miss a father or a child. So all those circumstances, if we apply compassion in all these cases, we'll appreciate that any loss of life is still painful to a person somewhere or a people somewhere. Mr. Speaker, on the issue of identification of police officers, Mr. Speaker, deployment for police officers to protest, there are different formations of police officers that are deployed, Mr. Speaker. So if you say a police officer should not wear helmet, Mr. Speaker. For example, most of the police officers all over the world that are, Mr. Speaker, are deployed. They wear uniform, and their uniform is helmet. Mr. Speaker, helmet conceals a police officer more than a mask. So the order from from any court that says that all police officers should wear their uniform, then it is clear that when they wear the helmets, they are wearing their uniform. It's also clear that police officers who are serving as DCI do not have uniform. They are always on civilian. And they are all deployed to go to the protest because they must be immediately collecting evidence of any incidents that are happening. They don't have to wait until an incident happens, and they are deployed to be part and parcel of that protest. So, Mr. Speaker, all the protests that have been deployed in Kenya, at least to the best of my knowledge, especially for the time I've been in office, have been done according to the police standing orders and according to the law. And Mr. Speaker, nothing has gone or breached the provisions of the law. Mr. Speaker, in also, just for you
Minister,
to
you seem to be importing a new word into the description in the Constitution. Article 37, and we wrote it at Bomas, talks of assemble, demonstrate, picket, and present petitions. Where are you getting protest from? Because a demonstration is not necessarily a protest.
Mr. Speaker, the English definition of protest, Mr. Speaker, would include picketing and demonstrations, if I am not wrong. And Mr. Speaker, if we have to stick to Article 37, then I can say demonstrations. Yeah. But sometimes what we witness in Kenya are not necessarily demonstrations.
Because the moment it becomes a riot, it ceases to be a demonstration.
Yes, yes. Protest may not be negative, but when it becomes riots, Mr. Yes. Speaker, definitely they cease to be constitutional. And in most cases, they're not. They're always riots, Mr. Speaker. Starts as demonstrations, and at some point they are taken over by riots. Mr. Speaker, I was at the stage of identification. So just to conclude, Mr. Speaker, deployment of police officers, I know that sometimes there have been judicial overreach, and they say when you deploy police officers to any operations, they must be seen, identification, and cover themselves, because the judge who is making that decision is making it at a comfort in his office in Milimani with air condition. But when you deploy our police officers to Liboi, Mr. Speaker, or to somewhere in Kibish, or somewhere in Lamu or Kiunga, Mr. Speaker, there are many other things we do that are supposed to protect our police officers. So it's not a straitjacket thing. And sometimes courts make decisions that they cannot enforce, because someone is saying you dress in a particular manner, but the police officer will not be there when the judge is not going to be there when the police are fighting Al-Shabaab to monitor how they will dress and how they will look like. So, Mr. Speaker, this is a sensitive area, and I have always insisted that across the arms of government, there must be an understanding of what is called national interest that is beyond our sectarian competition or political competition that we have. Mr. Speaker, on compensation of loss of property, at the moment, the directive of His Excellency the President in establishing this compensatory mechanism does not include compensation for property. And I think that is for good cause, Mr. Speaker, because if you were to value the property that is destroyed, even as a supermarket like the one in Meru alone, or the looting that happened in OTC, and the whole destruction, it would take the entire budget, perhaps, Mr. Speaker, of Ministry of Interior, for example, to compensate those people. And then we would be encouraging also goons and criminals to be destroying property, and then people are compensated. I think this is a mechanism out of compassion that His Excellency is putting in place to just look at the loss of life. And you can never compensate life. I think even the word compensate is a compassionate support, if you may ask me, because there's nothing, no amount of money can bring back life or can be equated to life by any family. So maybe let me tie together that with what Honorable Karoli Omondi raised, Mr. Speaker, concerning the mechanism of that compensation. First, let me confirm that this includes the police officers. So police officers who have also got injured or died in the course of these incidences and protests, Mr. Speaker, from 2017 would also be part and parcel of this team to be compensated. And it is the Office of the President, his advisor on constitutional affairs and human rights, Professor Makao Mutua, who will coordinate the rest of the team to establish a fair mechanism of identifying the victims. And Mr. Speaker, I don't think it's an easy job. So he has to consult all these institutions as has been raised by Honorable Karoli Omondi. And considering the background of Professor Makau Mutua, I have no doubt in my mind that his experience in the civil society will come in handy in consulting those institutions and people who have suffered. Let's not assume it's going to be an easy task, especially in a country that when you compensate IDPs, a new set of IDPs come up. And I know cases where even when you complete one government, finishes IDPs, another government, gets another petition of IDPs. So we have to be very strict in this sense so that we don't make a mockery of such a very important and noble idea. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Wamshomba.